Welcome to the Big Picture Podcast. We're here on our way to the site of the former Rocky Flats plutonium facility. Once an area of heavy industry, today a plutonium-enriched wildlife refuge. Please note, there are audio nuances in this podcast you'll find enhanced by headphones or a quiet listening environment. All right, we're here. Okay, we've got the flat irons up behind us. It's been raining a lot lately, and so it's actually, the grass is really green.
Yeah, hey, Dad. I wasn't expecting to be green.
Oh, this is the entrance right here. Do you have the cars locked? All right, we're at the gate entry of the Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge. Staff access only. Please contact 303-289-0232 to request entry.
Guard, should we call him? Should I call him? Just go into the gate?
Yeah. So we tried calling. All right, I'll be the first. Okay. I've just crossed the gate. Why is there a Jeep there?
It's waiting for us. But the sky is beautiful.
It's been hot. The clouds have just come over. Evening time now.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful from up here. Why don't we build some houses?
You know, if they're going to do anything with this, they could really create an educational site. Like really give pictures and maps and diagrams.
So that the history can be preserved?
Yeah. A place to learn. I mean, maybe you wouldn't want to attract people here, but for those of us that are crazy enough to come here and want to bear witness, to at least have a little bit of a vision of what it might have looked like at one point.
But how could you bring kids here when the plutonium's in the grass?
You wouldn't. It probably is not a good idea.
Just make sure the kids don't eat the grass.
And maybe don't be here on a windy day.
Or light a fire to get the grass combusted and releasing plutonium into the air.
Oh, look! A two-headed rabbit.
Ha ha ha. We're looking at a field, a dirt road down through a field, and we're passing through a series of gates. All right, so...
Where did the plutonium come from? Like, did they ship it out here? Is that what was coming in the trains?
What you need is uranium. Utah is full a lot of uranium, and the uranium, you can bombard it with neutrons and generate plutonium out of it, which we all know to be transmutation. Where did they do that? They did that here. Rocky Flats was one of the places they did that.
So I learned some things. We're reading a little bit online, some articles. There were 8 major buildings and then around 100 support buildings, and about 5,000 people worked here.
5,000?
5,000. So,
wow.
Yeah, so it was a real economic boom for the Denver area in terms of having employment, and cost about $7 billion to clean it up in 2005.
So it became a Superfund site.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Let's walk away from those dogs. Yep.
Want to go further in?
Yeah.
I mean, probably shouldn't.
I know he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Managers at Rocky Flats did not always follow the rule book in making decisions. In 1952, for example, they settled a dispute with rancher Marcus Church by giving him keys to fence locks and allowing him to move cattle through the top-secret plant. Cattle can't talk, one employee said, noting that Church only moved his cattle a few times.
Hey, there's the train track.
Yeah.
We are at the Rocky Flats. They just call it Rocky Flats. This is where they created plutonium for nuclear fusion bombs during the Cold War. Tons of plutonium produced here, just south of Boulder, upwind from Denver. So, how do you make a nuclear bomb? First, you need to realize there are two types of nuclear bombs: fission and fusion. Fission bombs came first. World War II ended with 2 fission bombs over Japan. Horrific, but pale in comparison to the fusion bomb yet ever to be used in war, thankfully. You see, a fission bomb can only be so large, because the bigger you build it, the more unstable it becomes. For a fusion bomb, you use the element hydrogen as the explosive, and you can gather all the hydrogen you want. The more hydrogen, the larger the fusion bomb, also commonly known as a hydrogen bomb. It takes a lot of energy to ignite a hydrogen bomb. So, guess what they use to ignite a hydrogen bomb? Yeah, fission bombs. You need fission bombs just to ignite a much bigger hydrogen bomb. So, what happened here at Rocky Flats? Gosh, let me answer that with another question. If the U.S. government is going to build nuclear bombs, where do you suppose they're going to do that? On foreign soil? No. That's too much a security risk. Besides, we've got plenty of uranium occurring right here within the U.S. boundaries. So bombs are all built right here in the country. But where exactly? Whose backyard? The first and biggest processing plant was Hanford, along the Columbia River near Richland, Washington State. Another selected site was Rocky Flats, just south of Boulder, Colorado. And what exactly did they do here at Rocky Flats? They transmuted naturally occurring uranium into non-naturally occurring plutonium. And that plutonium was made to make the fission bombs to trigger each fusion bomb now in our nuclear arsenal. here. This is where they made them. They made the plutonium into these ingots called pucks, each about the size of your hand. And over almost 40 years, up to 1989, they produced some 70,000 of these pucks. Most of them shipped to, I believe, northern Texas, where they were assembled into the actual fusion bombs. But come on, let's face it. What are we talking about here? We're talking about an intent to kill fellow human beings on large and massive scales. The scale is so large that you get, gosh, this one saving grace. You can't blow up your enemy without threatening the planet itself that sustains you and all your friends. And it doesn't help when your enemy has the very same blow it all up technology. So I hope you get the picture. We survived the Cold War, yes, but the repercussions of the Cold War, they're here to stay, as is evidenced here at Rocky Flats. Okay, I got more. Listen up. This is important. The plutonium, as a chemical element, it chemically reacts readily with oxygen. It burns. It catches fire. So handling this stuff isn't easy. In fact, the Rocky Flats facility had two major fires, one in 57 and the other in 1969, both releasing plutonium into the Metro Denver area. And you might think, oh, since it's burnt up, maybe it's not harmful anymore? Well, hey, you're thinking chemistry, and indeed, it's chemistry that makes the plutonium burn. But before the burning and after the burning, you still have plutonium atoms and their radioactive nuclei. All the burning does is to spread the plutonium atoms to a greater area. That's not good. But you also need to know that the plutonium we're talking about here, it's not super radioactive. And on top of that, it's what we call an alpha emitter. Alpha particles, you see, they can't make it past your skin. So, comparatively speaking, it's not that bad, except when it's inhaled. See, in that case, when you inhale the plutonium, it enters your body, and like lead, it tends to stick around. So there you are with an alpha emitter constantly emitting alpha particles inside your body for the rest of your life. That's not good. So now here at Rocky Flats, there's significant plutonium in this ground. Plants absorb it. Yeah. Like they're pulling up nutrients, and in doing that, they're also pulling up plutonium. And the last thing you want is a brush fire. Of course, brush fires, they're a natural thing out here in the Front Range of Colorado. Yeah, much to talk about, huh? Like, what's the difference between a chemical reaction and a nuclear reaction? What exactly is radioactivity? And how is radioactivity markedly different from these things we call nuclear fission and fusion? Yeah? In thorium reactors, you've probably not heard of thorium as a nuclear fuel. Then it's my honor. Let me be the first to inform you that thorium holds much promise. Get this, you can't build a nuclear bomb from thorium, which I understand is why thorium was never developed as an energy source. Dig that. More so, a thorium reactor can't undergo meltdown, and the byproducts are much more manageable than those of uranium and plutonium nuclear reactors used today. Yeah, I'm looking at this field, and in this day of increasing carbon dioxide, it rings true to me. The potential of thorium nuclear reactors needs some serious attention. In the context of working with our fellow humans, not against them. That's so clear. It's beautiful. Behind us are the Rocky Mountains and the Flatiron foothills. Prime real estate, really. It's now a wildlife refuge. It's been raining a lot lately. It's green. I see a deer. I can hear the crickets. The traffic. People driving by it. Every day. No placards. No memorial. Just a field with beautiful views. Hey Ian, what do you think?
I think it looks like a regular field. You could drive by it pretty easily.
I just not know the history of this place.
Yeah.
Should there be like an education center somewhere?
It would be neat to have a visitor center. Then I guess everyone would know what was here.
Well, there's they call it the guardianship, where we watch over it for the rest of our time.
I just wonder what all this development is that's happening around here.
Looks like that's a sand pit adjacent to it. The sand pit. Heavy metal sand pit. Used for concrete, right? Maybe that's where it's going. Oh, and here comes a heavy duty truck. A cement truck. Yeah. Wow. Would you say it's beautiful here?
Yeah, very. It's very beautiful. I mean, if you want a lab with some scenery, then come to Rocky Flats in the 1950s.
Oh, there's the train track where they would bring in the raw materials. Crossing a field here. Want to pick up a rock memento?
Not particularly.
We're on the train tracks now, where massive demonstrations went on in the 80s, I think the 80s. They camped out on the train tracks to prevent the trains from delivering the materials needed for the production of the plutonium. We're at the train, where along these tracks it splits now, one going to the left down to the where the plant was, another one going straight. We should get a picture here. Come on! Just one picture! It's just, it's hard to believe that this soil is full of plutonium, or relatively high levels of plutonium. I mean, it's just hard to believe. It's a beautiful field. There's deer, there's rabbits, birds, crickets, industry. I'm talking about the traffic going by and the sand pit, which is right next to this place. All right, here we are. I want a picture right here. Ian, could you, from there? This is for the show notes. We did it.
Everyone's for you guys.
I want to go down there. Something's pulling me.
Let's stop standing around and do it then.
This you could see from Google Earth. I know you could. Where these train tracks make form a triangle.
These train tracks form a triangle?
Well, yeah, from Google Earth, you'd look down on this and you'd see this triangle. And that way people can see exactly where we were during this podcast. All right, we're here. We are now in that triangle. If you were to Google Earth this, Rocky Flats, and zoom in onto the train tracks, we are just on the north side of that triangle, curved triangle. This is the kind of place where if you're a kid, you just hang out and play, ride your dirt bike. You know, I'm thinking this is surprisingly accessible. Not like everybody's going to want to come here, right? But they could that's the debate. Do they make a park out of it? And I can understand why they would want to make a park out of it. I mean, people come and have picnics and play, fly kites, throw boomerangs, make some nature trails. That's totally understandable. It's a beautiful area.
Hey, dude. Oh no, Dad's walking further along than we thought.
I don't know. I just feel this pull. What is it? Like you're seeing this tornado, and you're drawn toward it. Okay, I'm gonna pull myself away. You can see how they can make a park out of this place, right?
It's beautiful. I mean, and it's lovely hearing the crickets and the birds and the helicopters.
There's an expansive view down into the Great Plains because we're up on the edge of the foothills. And so we're looking down upon Denver and beyond. Denver sits in a kind of a valley, which isn't good for pollution, thermal inversions. But today is a very clear day, and it's the view as well as just the landscape that's really attractive. All right, you done?
Yeah. It's great to see that weather coming in every day.
Oh, clouds coming in now.
Well, it's not going to be nice. It's all going up in this.
Keep it green. Keep it green. All right, back to the studio. For more on the Rocky Flats Plutonium Facility, please visit our show notes at conceptualscience.com. We also encourage you to visit Rocky Flats Nuclear Guardianship.org, as well as nuclearcarepartners.com. Theme music by Zach Jeffrey, musical flourishes by John Andrew. Good chemistry to you.
You have reached the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service at the Colorado Front Range National Wildlife Refuge Complex, including the refuges of Rocky Mountain Arsenal, Two Ponds, and Rocky Flats. The refuges are open and free to the public from sunrise to sunset 7 days a week. The refuges are only closed on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. To reach the visitor center, visitor information, and youth education programs, please press 1. For the headquarters office, please press 2. If this is a wildlife emergency, hang up and dial 911. Thank you for calling the Colorado Front Range National Wildlife Refuge